Hello, everybody. Welcome to 2022. We are back again with another Edmentum, Illinois YouTube channel presents. And today we have the honor of talking with Phil Morris. He is the Director of Operations and Technology for the Kane County Regional Office of Education west of Chicago. Lover of greyhounds. He's got a pretty good golf swing too. Phil, thanks for being with us today. How are you?
Great. Good to see you guys.
Phil,
great to see you.
Phil, in your role, Director of Operations and Technology, what are you hearing? What are some things that are happening, specific to your role, but just as you work with and support very large districts throughout the Kane County region?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of different things that I'm involved with. Some people don't know that our office, we converted the district compliance tool to being a web-based tool. So that's working with a lot of districts and supporting that and continue to update that. So many people don't know that actually was converted here, and we operate and manage that. That was a big thing that used to be 55 double-sided pages of checkboxes. And, in our office, that went from having somebody on site at a school district as part of that could be upwards of a week. Now that's only like a day. So they can just handle on-site stuff. A lot of other stuff is reviewed. The other big thing that I'm involved with is HLS, health, life, safety visits. So a lot of people don't, know that the ROE is coming. You hear that. The ROE is coming, and that's for the yearly inspections that are required of our schools, school safety inspections. And that again, once that was dropped into my lap, it was a paper-based system. I'm not a fan of paper. And so converted that to being a fully iPad-based system. And that was back probably now almost 15 years ago. And now it is fully iPad-based. So inspectors can go into a building, iPad, do everything right there. Reports come back. We now have different data points that we can review and everything else. So statewide, those are two big areas that I'm involved with on a regular basis. As far as other hot topics right now, I think we've got a lot going on with our school districts as far as remote access for students and teachers, and along with two-factor authentication, cybersecurity issues that we're all working on. And, the one that's been out there for a while now on top of heads is SOPPA. So those are kind of what I would say three of my other big hot items right now.
Yeah. Wow. It's incredible the work that you did to translate things from paper to web-based. That's awesome. Just curious, thinking about, the last year or two, I don't know how many now it's been, right? Since COVID hit and, things went remote. I know there was a big push to get technology out to students to, make sure all students were connected. Just wondering how things are looking this year throughout the region or the state, and if you're still seeing some issues and how some of those issues are maybe being brought to the forefront and handled.
Yeah, I think, there are still issues. We've got, when the pandemic first hit, there was a lot of, you find out a lot. The big saying out here is you don't know what you don't know. And, you assume when you hear from people, different surveys that, yeah, we've got, 90% or 95% home internet access. But when it comes down to it, was it robust internet access? Was it quality internet access? And I think, many districts found that, yeah, there was some internet access, but it wasn't always the best. We had to do a lot of work supporting the homes and teachers on setting up quality home networks. Most of the time, they may have good internet coming in, but then their Wi-Fi. So then, helping them understand, okay, getting the proper system to get mesh Wi-Fi at home so that they have more than just one router and Wi-Fi access point. There's maybe 2 or 3. I know my own home, when the pandemic hit, that was the upgrade I did right off the bat. I tried to host some Zoom meetings myself, and I had issues. And I started looking at it and go, oh, you know what? All of a sudden, I went from having usually just me online to having many more devices online at the same time. So I needed to kind of bridge that gap. So a lot has gone into helping support that type of education out there, but then also, working with these other companies on their access points, mobile access points. They all have them. So districts can do that. But in the front end of it, there was management problems. All of a sudden you have 400 of these little packs that you're giving out, and tracking those. Are they being used? Are we getting them back? Are they up to date? Are they being, and supporting those? So a lot has come a long way in that area. Great job on the other providers to work with school districts to bring affordable management to some of those situations. And that's still kind of ongoing. Obviously the federal government has put out several different programs for lower cost Wi-Fi or lower cost bandwidth to the home. And so they've been able to work on that. Some of the school districts have been able to do some things, some creativeness across the state too. Really impressed with, CTOs across the state amaze me every day. And they've really put together some awesome possibilities, whether it's putting Wi-Fi in buses, whether it's bringing fiber into apartment buildings and actually wiring those up. I mean, the possibilities are there. So pretty excited on where this is going, but we're still not successful. We're not 100%. And I don't think we'll ever get there, but I think we'll get really close. I think to get to that 100% mark would take cities putting up very large, networks that can cover homes, and it needs to become, the big term, ubiquitous. That's what internet needs to become, and we're not there yet.
Thought-provoking pieces. Speaking of thought-provoking, on your Tuesday tech tips pieces, are there any upcoming topics that you're pretty jazzed to talk about?
So the Tuesday tech tip, actually, the 1-year anniversary of these bi-weekly tips is next week. I just realized that as I was filming my next one. And it's going pretty well. The analytics and views are great. It started out when I was at home during pandemic time and hearing a lot of the frustrations. So there's a Tuesday tech tip out there on mesh networks, and what's needed and how that works. I did another one on just streaming services, because we've changed a lot into that area. How does that affect everything that's going on? So this upcoming one is coming out next Tuesday is on actually doing screenshots. Believe it or not, we always think that, we just do a screenshot, but that changes and there's new ways to do that. And both Windows and Chromebooks and Mac, they've all upgraded that option. It's kind of built in to where you can do a full screen, just a window, or the crosshair snapshot. And as I kind of tell in the tip, I also use Sketch, but now that's almost built into all these other tools where you can draw some arrows, you can add some text to the screen. So Sketch may not be as needed. So I'm always looking for ideas from educators and the public and friends on what's that one little tip. And then I, find some resources and film it. So it's kind of fun. It's been it's kind of neat when you run into somebody and they say, "Oh, I saw your tech tip." Like, "Oh, thanks for that." It means like, okay, actually there's purpose.
So that's great. Yeah, that's really how this segment started too. It was born out of the start of the pandemic, and you know, just the idea of keeping people connected and offering different ideas. And we really appreciate you jumping on with us today to talk about what you're hearing throughout the region, but also throughout the state. If you don't already, please follow Phil Morris on Twitter at Morris_Phil. Follow the Kane County ROE on Twitter as well. That's where you can find those tech tips. And Phil, once again, thank you very much for being with us today. And we wish you all the best here in 2022.
Thank you much, guys.